Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. Welcome back to our discussion on Thiruppaatu. Today we are going to start with a very interesting Padigam. Pun sequence, this is the 55th Padigam, and talking about our historical sequence, this is the 81st Padigam. God has given only this Padigam for our thoughts for now, so let's continue with that. The place for this Padigam is sung is called as Thirupunkoor. Thirupunkoor is the place, and Lord Shiva's name, the deity's name over here is Sivaloganadhar, and his consort's name is Sokkanayagi. The place is called as Thirupunkoor because the place had a lot of punga trees. It was filled with punga trees. That is why it was called, this place is named after that, called as Thirupunkoor. And obviously, so the holy tree over here is punga tree itself, and the holy water over here is called as Idabatirtham, which is nothing but Rishabhatirtham. And the moment we hear about this particular place called as Thirupunkoor, obviously any Saivite will remember Thirunalai Povar, which is also, who is also called as Nandanar. Nandanar, when he visited this temple, he could not see the deity from outside, and so the Nandi from outside just moved a little bit so that Nandanar could see the deity. Even today, if we visit that temple, we will be able to see the displaced Nandi in front of the temple. Not only that, Nambi Arorar got the friendship of Ayarkon Kalikamar in this particular place only. Basically, what had happened was, Ayarkon Kalikamar is one of the, he's a small, something like a king, right? So, he was actually angry on Nambi Arorar because Nambi Arorar, he believed that Nambi Arorar sent God 2 times, sent Lord Shiva 2 times to Paravayar's house just to make sure that she's comfortable, okay, because she was angry on Nambi Arorar for his second wedding, because Paravai Nachiyar is Nambi Arorar's first wife, right? So she gets angry when Nambi Arorar married the second time, so she was angry, and Lord Shiva went to Paravayar, and he convinced her, and then they started living together once again, Nambi Arorar and Paravayar. So what happened over here was, when Nambi Arorar did this, it offended Ayarkon Kalikamar. He was very, very furious about this act, about this deed, and so he did not want to see Nambi Arorar. Lord Shiva decided to convince both of them and bud the friendship between them. So what he did was, he gave a very severe, something like an ulcer, he gave a very severe ulcer in Ayarkon Kalikamar's stomach, and he told Ayarkon Kalikamar that only if Nambi Arorar had come, you will get a cure for your stomach ache. And he said the same to Nambi Arorar also. But Ayarkon Kalikamar was so adamant that he didn't want his stomach pain to go off just because he didn't want to see Nambi Arorar. But Nambi Arorar, hearing this, he starts his journey towards Ayarkon Kalikamar. Hearing about his arrival, Ayarkon Kalikamar takes a small sword, and then he just pokes on his own stomach, and he just dies off. Hearing when Nambi Arorar was in his place, when he's in his palace, Ayarkon Kalikamar's palace, Ayarkon Kalikamar's wife just hides everything, and she pretends as if nothing has happened, and she starts to because when you talk about guest, treating the guest and all these, it is a basic etiquette for Tamils. So what she does is, she follows those etiquettes. Hearing the sad story, the sorrowness, Nambi Arorar is really heartbroken. What he does is, he takes the sword and he tries to kill himself as well, because he thinks that all the sorrows happened because of him. That is the time the miracle happens. Lord Shiva wakes up Ayarkon Kalikamar, and that is the time when the foe both of them, at least Nambi Arorar was considering Ayarkon Kalikamar as his friend, but Ayerkon Kalikamar was not. Now the friendship started budding between both of them and they became friends. After that they visited this temple, and after that only we are able to see this Padigam. According to the 12th Thirumurai, which is Periya Puranam, this is the history that we are able to see. So this particular Padigam, the benefit of reading this Padigam is we will easily be able to get rid of death, and at the same time to give more balance and to give more strength to the soul. This Padigam is read. We have 3 Padigams in total for this particular place called as Thirupunkoor. One is from the first Thirumurai 27th verse, 27th Padigam. Same ways in the 6th Thirumurai also we have one, and then the 7th Thirumurai, this is the Padigam. Let's look at the first verse now. Andhanaalan un அடைக்கலம் புகுத அவனை காப்பது காரணமாக வந்த காலன் தன் ஆருயிர் அதனை வவ்வினாய்க்கு உந்தன் வன்மை கண்டு அடியேன் எந்தை நீ எனை நமன் தமர் நலியில் இவன் மற்று என் அடியான் என விளக்கும் சிந்தையால் வந்து உன் திருவடி அடைந்தேன் செழும்பொழில் திருப்புன்கூர் உளானே. This entire verse just talks about only one information, which is about the saint Markandeya. What happened was Markandeya's parents, there was a saint called as Markandeyan. His parents, when they had no kids, they started worshipping Lord Shiva, asking for a kid. So Lord Shiva appeared in front of them and he said, what kind of a kid do you want? I'm going to give you 2 choices, you can choose one. One, I'm going to give you a kid who will live long, but he will be literally like a demon. Another one is, I'll give you another kid who's going to live only for 16 years, but he will be a very pious man. What kind of a kid you want? So the parents chose the 16 years old kid. So that is how Markandeya was given. And when Markandeya came to know that he is going to live only for 16 years, he was not worried about that. Rather, he started concentrating on Shiv Puja continuously. With full focus, he was focusing on Shiv Puja. And on the exact 16th birthday, Lord Yama, the Lord of Death, approached Markandeya, and at that point in time, Markandeyan was actually performing his puja. And at that juncture, he was about to take away the life of Markandeya. Knowing this, Lord Shiva just killed Lord Yama. The reason is, there is nothing wrong in Lord Yama's action, because what he was doing is only his duty, but what he did was on the wrong time. The timing was not right, due to when you're talking about someone doing Shiv Puja, no one can hinder that, no one should hinder that. And if there is a disturbance, it is going to create a big sin that is depicted through this particular Purana. Now, Nampi Arorar recollects this incident and he says, you remember the other day when Markandeya was totally submissive to you and totally submitted towards you, you saved him from Lord Yama. Similar to that, what I want you to do for me is, when Yama or his the guys who are there along with Yama, whoever comes, we call it as Yamadudar, yeah. So whenever they are coming to take away my life, I want you to tell them to just stay away. Stay away, because he is my person. So can you just tell them to stay away? Learning about this history, I have surrendered myself to you so that you will save me from Yama. This is the main request that Nambi Arorar has for Lord Shiva in this particular song, this particular verse. It's a beautiful verse. Basically, all we have to do is also recite this on a daily basis, because who can save us from getting into rebirth? Because we are not scared of death. Death is inevitable. The moment you are born, we have to die one fine day. But what can be done, what we should be yearning for, is not to be reborn again. When Yama comes to take away our life, surely there is the next birth. But if Lord Shiva is sending his, we call it his Bhudaganangal, when he is sending his Bhutaganas, that is the time we won't be born again. So which means we will be peacefully placed in Lord Shiva's feet forever. So all we have to request is, please make sure that Yama is not coming to take away my life. I need to be in your feet. I don't want to be reborn again. That is the beautiful verse, the first verse that is given to us. I'll come back again with the next verse very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama, Thiruchitrambalam.